Fortnite sprites. You either love them or hate them. And I mean, who really hates these adorable little critters anyways? I mean...
What the fuck?
Alright, yeah, you guys are right. Yeah, Sprite's gotta go. But anyways, Fortnite has released a crap ton of sprites. Specifically 117. I don't know why it took me a while to think about that. But there's 117 sprites. And I'm gonna rank them all. Just kidding. If you really thought I was gonna sit here and list like 117 Labubu's, you're pretty crazy. However, I am gonna rate. Hey guys, this is Future Peels. I forgot to mention that I'm gonna rank these sprites by their abilities. And I said I'm going to list the variants, gizmos, and all that other stuff. I am not going to do that in this video. I'm only going to rank the base version of the sprites. Thank you for your time. Alright, the rules are pretty simple, you know. The best is an S, and the worst, absolute worst of them all is an F. So, I say we begin, starting off with the water sprite. Now, the water sprite, you know, it's pretty basic. It's one of the first sprites that you get in the game. Obviously, it's not super crazy. Its ability, it replenishes shield while in the water, and for your teammates as well. I mean, it's a basic idea, right? It's nothing too crazy, and I'm not gonna be too harsh on it, considering that this is just a rare sprite, so it's not really crazy compared to some other ones. So I think for that reason, I'm gonna give it a C. You know, it just gets the job done. It doesn't do anything too crazy. Coming in next is the fire sprite. Now this one creates a fire burst upon dealing enough damage to an enemy. Now this is actually super good considering the fact that it's just a basic sprite, like one of the first ones you can get. Now this one, I'm gonna give it an A. I mean, it does pretty good damage, you know, like, once let's say you're in a fight with someone and they're pretty low, but you nearly run out of bullets, the fire sprite got you covered, you know, it'll just burn your enemy, and boom, you're good to go. Honestly, this is just a pretty good one for a lot of situations. However, you can get burned, like your own fire sprite can turn against you and burn you, so I think for that reason, I'm gonna just put it in A. Simply because it can also just turn on you in any given moment. Next up is the Earth Sprite. Now there was a huge scandal going on with this Earth Sprite where people were thinking that, oh, the Earth Sprite can give you rare sprite variants. No, it just gives you loot, not sprites. I don't know where this misconception came from, but it just doesn't. And honestly, I don't really use this a lot. Plus, I don't really care about loot. You know, it just gives you extra loot. Nothing too crazy to say about this one. So I think for that reason, I'm gonna give it a high C, just above the water sprite. Next up is the fishy sprite. Now this one can swim faster and gain a brief speed boost when damaged. Now this one, I actually really like this ability because it can help you out, especially in zero builds, which I've been playing a lot this season. So I think I'm just gonna keep it short and sweet. I think I'm gonna put this up in A, honestly. I mean, this is a pretty good ability, just speed boost, swim faster, you know, there's kind of a decent amount of water this season, so I think this kind of helps in that aspect. I mean, but the damage boost, like the speed boost, I mean, when taking damage is pretty good in my opinion, so I think for that, it's gonna go into the A. Alright, ending off with the rare sprites, we have the air sprite. This one increases sprinting speed and jump height. Now this one, I think it's pretty good. Like, it's kind of like the fishy sprite, except this one, I think it can also reduce fall damage if I'm not mistaken. And you know, this is one of those good ones. I don't know if I should put this above the fishy sprite though. I'm not sure. Let me think here for a second. I don't know. I think it's gonna go above the fishy sprite, simply because it's more like versatile and stuff. Because the fish sprite was more limited towards water. However, this one you can just the effects, like happen on the ground, you know. So I think for that, it's gonna go in between the fire and fishy sprite and the A spot. Now at the epic sprites, we have the duck sprite. I don't even know, like, I don't have any words, dude. This is probably one of the worst abilities I've ever seen in my life. You have to emote to replenish shields and stuff. And health. I think, wait, is it just shields? Oh, it's just shield. Okay, it's even worse. I don't even, like... This is just... And, like, the tick speed to, like, heal is super slow. No, this is the easiest F I've ever given. Next up is the Ghost Sprite. Now, this is actually one of the best sprites I've ever seen. Not only can you become invisible while reloading, it just... Depending on the level of your sprite, it can... it changes, like, the duration of it. I don't know how long, but this is an easy S if I've ever seen one. The Demon Sprite is next, and honestly, I think this is just another S, honestly. I mean, it grants Siphon upon eliminating an opponent. I rarely pick this up, but I know the ability can be super good for other people, so I think, honestly, this might just be an S. I mean, no words, right? Just give Siphon. Not much to say about that other than it's pretty good. Now here's another interesting one. It's the King Sprite. This one, I don't mind it. However, I think it just depends on the game mode that you're playing. Like, if this is on 0 builds, this is practically pointless. But I'm also going to take into account that, you know, builds, players, and stuff. I think, honestly, this is a pretty good sprite, the King Sprite, because it destroys builds. Let me read the exact description. Grants increased pickaxe damage, right? So it can just tear through builds if it's like level 5 or something like that. It's pretty good. But am I going to base this off of like as a 0 builds list or a builds list? I don't know. I think I'm just going to put this in A because this is honestly just a good ability. But outside of builds, this is just completely pointless. So I'm just going to put it at A. The Striker Sprite is up next. This is actually a pretty good ability. It gives you an overdrive boost when you mantle, hurdle, or wall scramble. Now this one, I actually really like it because, you know, it can help you give a kind of a boost whenever you're just mantling around, like a POI. Especially in 0 builds, you know, it can be pretty helpful in some situations. So I think for that, I think it might go... I think I'm going to put this above the Fish Sprite, but not the Air Sprite. The Air Sprite mobility is still better than the Striker ability. Alright, now this one, I actually really like this one. It is the Aura Sprite. You gain a Shock Rock charge when you deal enough damage to enemies. Now, unfortunately, I don't really know the amount of damage you need to take, and that's why it's kind of annoying sometimes when I deal... Like, I can kill, like, 3 people, and I would only have, like, 1 charge or something like that. I don't know how much damage you need, but Shock Rocks is a really good mobility item, so, you know, honestly, I think, I don't know, is this A or S? Because the amount of damage you need to take is kind of nerfed it a little bit. Let me think. I think this is going to go above the Striker Sprite, simply because Shock Rocks is the superior form of mobility. Now we have our first legendary of the list, and that is the Dream Sprite. It grants a random item every time the sprite is leveled up. Upon reaching max level, the sprite explodes with legendary loot, it resets to level 1, and is automatically extracted. That was a mouthful. Now this one, this is a really good one, because not only do you get loot every time you level it up, it extracts on its own. So just imagine you have like a cube Dream Sprite, everybody's chasing you for it, but then you max it out, and then boom, it's safe in your collection. My only nitpick is that it goes back to level 1. I kind of wished that, you know, it'd be level 5, so it looks clean in your collection, but, you know, I'm not complaining, you know. And the loot's pretty good. However, you know, it's kind of, I don't know, it's only worth it if you, like, master it. So I think he's going to be in the first B slot of this list. Alright, I have an easy F tier off the rip, and that is the Punk Sprite. This is absolutely a waste of a Sprite, honestly. I don't know who thought this was a good idea. It does absolutely nothing until you max it out, and then you get infinite ammo. But like, why? Like, I feel like the whole ammo thing, like, no one really runs out of it. Like, I feel like there's just so much ammo in the world that it's kind of just pointless. Like, you don't really. It's not like you'll ever run out of this thing ever, and I don't know. I'm just at a loss of words of how terrible this ability is. Easy F with the duck, but that isn't gonna last very long with the F tiers because we have an easy goat right here, and that is the Boss Sprite. This boosts your maximum health and shield. This is just absolutely goated. This is honestly such a good ability. It does what I just said. You know, it increases the max amount of health and stuff. It's just super good. Easy S. Honestly, this might be. Yeah, no, this is above the Ghost and Demon. That's how good this is. Now, another Sprite up on the list is the 7 Sprite. This is just a very mediocre Sprite. It just reveals enemy foot trails to all nearby squad mates around the island. I mean, who really needs a use for this? I mean, sure, it could help if you can't. I mean, honestly, this is actually kind of good. Just considering the fact that this shot removed or heavily nerfed visual sound effects now. I think maybe the footsteps, like the visual footsteps, could be helpful in that sense. But, I mean, other than that, it's pretty pointless, but not completely pointless. Like, it's just there, you know? So I think he's going to be in this C tier. And now, arguably one of the best looking sprites, the Peaky Peely Sprite. Now, I'm not going to be biased here. I'm actually going to give my full, non-biased opinion here. And I'm just simply I said this before, but I'm just rating this off of the abilities. And honestly, the Peaky Peely Sprite ability, I don't know about it. I don't know how to feel about this one. Its user gets marked around the map within the ping radius after they sent out a ping of their teammates with rare sprites nearby. So, in other words, it just helps you find. Basically, he's just a snitch, right? He snitches out people who have rare sprites, but it also lets everyone know where you are. I mean, it's kind of like a lose-lose for the guy with the rare sprite and for the person wearing the Peely on their back. However, most of the time, it just marks variance, and chances are it could just be a goldfish or something when you already have that. So, but then again, it could really be helpful if someone has something really rare. So, honestly, it's just a gamble, so I think I'm going to have to put this in the B slot. And now, the last legendary sprite on the list is the Luton Llama Sprite. This is just sad. Increased chance to get free rarity upgrade after opening the ammo box. Now, a lot of the time when this happens to me, I always just accidentally click off the thing when I don't realize it, and I just lose this chance to get a rarity upgrade. It's just really bad. This is just a D because, you know, well, weapon upgrade, it's nice, right? But like, when is the last time you've actually ever used this ability? So this is just an easy D tier. And now we made it to the final stretch, the Mythic Sprites. Starting off with the 0-point Sprite. This one spawns a Shield Bubble Jr. around the player when they use a healing item. This is a really good ability because it can protect you because obviously, you know, you have a pretty rare Sprite on your back. So this can very well help. However, you kind of messed up because now everybody in the area knows that you just have a 0-point Sprite laying around. So it's kind of bad. So, you know, it's kind of a win-lose. I don't really know what you'd like to call it. But I think it's an okay ability that I'm just going to put it at a B simply because it lets everybody know, like, yo, this guy's got the 0 point. Let's target him whenever you're healing and stuff using the bubble. So this is just going to be a B tier. And then we got one of the worst sprites in the game, the burnt peanut. Now, I'm just going to hate on the... I'm not even going to hate on the... Actually, no, I am going to hate on the ability. And just the way he is as a person is just... He's a terrible dude. Somehow gets into Fortnite. Sure, okay, man. Whatever. And then it grants a low chance for additional loot from eliminations, including mythic loot. I don't think in the entire time that I've ever used the burnt peanut, I don't think that ability has ever happened. Like, once. So this is just another F tier, along with the punk and dunk. So, yeah. And then, next up is the Grim Sprite. Now, I know how in the 0 point Sprite I said how, like, oh, everyone knows what you have and stuff, right? I think this one is equally as worse of letting everyone know what you have, because opponents who attack its user get scanned for a short duration of time. Now, I don't know if you guys saw my last video, or not my last... Well, I don't really know the order that I'm going to post these videos, but the one where I get the Cube Grim, I damaged the guy, and then I noticed that I get knocked, so obviously I had to finish him off because he has a Grim. But, like, just... This is so bad, because it just lets everyone know, like, oh, this guy has a Grim. Same thing with the 0 point. And that's pretty much all it does. I mean, this ability is kind of worse, so I think it's going to be into the D tier, not going to lie. And then we're keeping up with the trends of mediocre sprites, because next on the list is Batman. This just launches the user upwards to deploy the Bat Cape. I mean, this is a pretty okay ability. I mean, could give you an extra boost when gliding. Not really boost, just like a height boost, I mean. So honestly, I mean, this is just... Because there's not a lot of really good situations where you can use it, and especially where, like, it's kind of annoying when you're trying to, like, free fall a bit to get closer down to the ground, and then you pull your glider out, and then it just launches you, like, higher up into the ground and stuff, so it's pretty annoying most of the time. So I think this is just gonna be... yeah, this is definitely gonna be a C. And then we have the sprite that nobody asked for, the Vinny Jr. sprite. I still don't know why he was a sprite to begin with. He has no reason being a sprite, but whatever. He basically just grants a heavy increase to structural damage after sprinting and an overdrive after sliding. Slide kicking the enemies will increase fire rate and reload speed buff. That was just a whole lot of nothing that I just read. That could be... I don't know, I did not understand the word in here. Grants a heavy increase to structural damage after sprinting. Okay, so you can, like, break builds easier after sprinting, basically. And you get overdrive after sliding. I know that sliding can make things destructive. That could help. But, like, maybe in builds, because I was playing a lot of this during 0 builds, so I don't know. I think Vinny Jr. might have to go into the D, simply because the ability just doesn't make sense to me, so I can't really rate it off that. But it is destructive, so I don't know. Get some points for that, I guess. Next one is the Pollo Sprite. This one replenishes shield for its user and their squad mates in a short amount of time after eliminating an enemy player. This is just a glorified siphon ability, but with a shot on it. So, I don't know. This just looks like a... I don't know. This is just some of the demon sprite, but I think it might be better than the demon, like, because it does heal your team. But, like, I haven't really used the Pollo a lot, so I think it's gonna go above the demon here. An S tier, of course, which is kind of crazy that I'm just giving out these S tiers like candy, but who cares? Alright, the second to last mythic sprite is the John Wick sprite. Knocked or eliminated opponents get marked or scanned to reveal nearby enemies for short durations of time. I actually kind of like this ability. I think it's a much better Grim sprite, honestly. And it's the mythic, like, dude, John Wick mocked that Grim, Jesus. I don't know if it's an S tier worthy, though. I think I don't know. It might actually be, because it gives more of a benefit towards you rather than the Grim did, because it marked the person who attacked you, but that just let everyone know that, oh, guys, this guy's a Grim. Whereas the John Wick, when you just kill someone, it marks around it, but like people will think like, oh, it's just probably like a recon scanner or whatever the thing is, you know, the thing that scans. People could just think it's that. So I think this is, I think it's gonna go above the 2 siphon sprites that I put. Last but certainly not least in the base sprites is Iron Mouse. Regenerate health for its users when running low. Also grants cloak and low gravity while regenerating. Now, as much as I really hate Iron Mouse, this is actually a really good ability. Somehow, like, the fact that this is better than the burnt peanut, I just can't. So, I don't know. I think this might be... This is a high A tier for sure. I don't know about... Maybe it's S, actually. I don't know. This is tough. Let me think, because this is the last one here. It is pretty good. You know what? This is actually an S. I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's an S. Wow, man. Well, there you have it, folks. Every single sprite, base sprite, in the game listed on the tier list. Or ranked, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Honestly, I'm kind of proud of this list. I mean, a lot of good ones. A lot of bad ones, too. But honestly, I think this has been a really fun video idea. I've been really wanting to do this for a while. I'm glad I was able to. And if you guys really enjoyed this one, I can definitely do a part 2 where I rank all of the variant abilities and the gizmos too, because why not, right? But only if this video does well, because I'm not gonna just make another trash one. Just kidding. I probably will still do a part 2 even if this doesn't do well, because, you know, I like making videos. That's all I got for me. But anyways, if you guys like this type of content and want to see more of this, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, because that's always a nice thing to do. And it'll let me know, like, if you guys want to see more tier list related videos or just commentary like this one. But that's going to do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.